And what is up, guys and gals? Today we got a new video of a gameplay. Paradoxes Europa Universalis 4. Um, Playing it without the last 4 DLCs, I do gotta mention. And playing as Bharat this time. I thought new type of video, just see how you guys maybe react to it, if you guys like it or not. Feel free to share your feelings down in the comment section. Now, this was an Ironman, and this is my stats at the end of the game. So, second largest army, 10th largest navy, second most provinces, second highest province value, and you can see my historical score here. I was a major power for most of this campaign, but wasn't definitely the first. I didn't expect this historical score, to be honest. I was probably behind Spain, like third or fourth somewhere. Definitely behind the Ottomans, and I think Germany formed, but I don't know where they are in here. So that kind of puzzles me. These were my ideas starting off, so we went through quantity just to get that manpower recovery speed and everything that goes with it. Espionage for spy network constructions and aggressive expansion impact. Economic and defensive are basically self-explanatory. They're really good, especially early game, I want to say. Diplomatic then, just to get a little bit of that province war score cost down, and the extra diplomats, of course, are a big plus. Administrative, I had a really hard time going through my limit of state capacity, so I did have to get this. I was basically out of ideas what to get, and yeah, I would have gone for a military had there been anything more prudent, so at the end I went for mercs and offensive. Now, without further ado, let's see the timeline over here. Now, I did start off as Vijayanagar, and I wanted to unite all of the Indian subcontinent basically under one empire. Now, my starting moves was basically to go through the missions just to get some starting claims and stuff like that on this southern part, which led me to my first war with Mysore, and that led me through the rest of the wars with these small countries down at the tip of the Indian peninsula. Is it a peninsula, guys? Write it down in the chat. Let me just go through 2 more years, and we'll get we'll get the Maldives here as well, and I did integrate my vassal of Jaffna here pretty soon on, just to get claims on this southern part. I did have an alliance with Andhra and the Bahmanis entered an alliance with Kotte over there, so I did look to pair those two wars. I did also just slow down my gameplay just to get that bit of consolidation of these gains down south, and to force spawn the Renaissance, because I would have gotten the last had it gone through the usual channels through Europe, the Middle East, and then to me. So I did force spawn it in my capital of Vijayanagar, which also was one of the missions, to be honest. So it did sort of go hand in hand. That first big war, I did take out the rest of the Ceylon island, and I did take only these 3, but I did release Telangana from the Bahmanis. And very soon on, I'll have a war with Andhra, which whom I broke my alliance off with, seeing as north is my only way of expansion, so I basically had to go through there. But I did keep them on as a vassal because it did give me a basically free war against Telangana to finish off those claims that I did have on their area. Now, maybe even at this point, I did ally myself with Malwa and Mewar, because they would have helped me against Gujarat. You'll very soon see me go through that war and take a bunch of provinces here on the coast. And there it goes. Through most of my gameplay, I did convert religion because the game just asks you to have high religious unity in order to be a stable country. But yeah, then why not have nationalist unity? I know it wasn't a thing back in the like 1400s, but it still could contribute to some instability in your country, which I'll get a bit later on to explaining more. Um, yeah, basically, it was just going off. If I'm not fighting Bahmanis, I'm fighting Gujarat. Gujarat itself will fall very soon. They already had one war with the Bahmanis, so I'm just gonna finish them off here and take this part. My allies probably taking these two provinces, which I couldn't get to. Um, and then I did also want to break into the northwest of the subcontinent to get to Sindh. Here, a lot of the provinces were Muslims, so I did have to deal with a bit of instability for a time until I did. But with the convert religion edict in most of my states, I did manage to sort of get through those in a jiffy, as you would say. But yeah, over here, the next few wars will be against Junarok and Kutch to take these lands. Took these two for another mission, which gave me claims on basically all of this land. And yeah, once I fight Sindh for the first time, I'll also fight Delhi. Just white peace them, no need for anything else. I can't really get to them either way. But yeah, I could take a lot from Sindh and just encircle them over there. Hormuz tried being the ballsy guy and took over one of the provinces that I wanted. So I'll have a quick war against them just to consolidate my lands through there. Mind you, at this point, I'm sort of halfish into my golden era, which will last about 50 years. So I'll have it until 1570s or something like that. Nothing pretty major. Still going on with the wars against the Bahmanis and Delhi or Sindh or whoever it is that's on my border, really. Um, the next step was also to vassalize Orissa and break off my alliance with Mewar and Malwa. I'm sorry, this is a few days since I played it, so I can't really remember quite clearly what happened when, but I'm basically getting these through as I see now what is happening on the map. Malwa did a stupid thing here, which they didn't they released Berar, and once they released Berar, they guaranteed them for that initial period. So I basically took that just to declare war on them, take as much as I could, because if I didn't do it then, they had an alliance with Delhi and they were guaranteed by Bengal. That war was not going to end well for me either way. So I thought, why not? Um, at this point, the next war will be against Mewar and Jaunpur. I'll take some provinces which I need to form India or Bharat. So I'm not really sure when. Yeah, okay, there it is. 1574. The central Doab was one of those regions. Then I had a war with New Delhi, where I took over Multan. And then the last war within probably this century was with Bengal, where I took over the provinces of Pataliputra and no, Cuttack. Yeah, and you'll see me in a few seconds here forming the nation of, well, the state of India. From there on, you get new missions, a new mission tree. I didn't really focus on my first mission tree. It asked you to go to war with Yemen and establish stuff over there. I really wasn't into that, so I just kept on pushing north as much as I could. I did take two vassals on of Dang and Dang. And Kumeon, I'm sorry if that was a bit too loud. And Kumeon and Malwa was even probably my vassal, yeah. I'll get to annex them as soon as possible because they just don't contribute enough for to have like a significant impact in my wars. Um, Delhi over there was easier to conquer, to be honest. Bengal was pretty stable up until I attacked them like the first few times. They were pretty stable a country. But here I cut them off from these lands. Jaunpur will be released here. They did have a few of these allies in Southeast Asia, which were a headache to deal with. But, I just stood my ground and that was it. Delhi did get a few times an alliance going on with the Ottomans, but I was always able to break it somehow and keep them um, out of that sort of alliance that could have potentially ended this run. Um, Here earlier, I don't think we saw it, but I did snake my way around Bengal just to get through those missions. But what I didn't realize at the time was I missed the province of Manipur. So for the longest time, I had to scratch my head why I couldn't finish that mission. But I mean, it was pretty easy to conquer it later. So yeah, I didn't want to push into Afghanistan this much, or well, this much. I did want to push this much, but not further than this. However, I did finish everything basically I wanted. You'll see soon because I don't really do anything much in the east, in the west. But now I'm gonna focus on finishing up my border in Tibet and Burma, and fighting those nations just to get a nice looking border for me, or well, what I did intend to conquer, right? Delhi and Bengal, last remnants of those big Indian states. And soon I'm gonna do also what I did against Bengal, snaking around Shan just to, um, so I don't have to fight Khmer or Yue or Shi or Altihaya, basically. Um, One big problem that I did have is, yeah, I couldn't accept all the different nationalities within the Indian subcontinent. I thought it was like it would have been done by me like upgrading my rank, government rank, into an empire or forming India itself. But it didn't. I had like 10 nations that I could accept, which was quite bad. I didn't get too many negatives from it, but um, I don't get it. Why would you not just let me, do that? Yeah, snaking also around Tibet here. I wouldn't have an issue fighting them, but this just seemed more easier, and I was losing my patience, especially in these Eastern wars where they just had a bunch of forts, unmovable terrain, like um, massive amounts of armies. Well, massive, not massive compared to the Ottomans, but still quite big for the region, I believe. Um, Over here, Ava and Shan and Pegu were my last sort of nemesis. And by this point, I thought to even call it quits, like to be like, oh, well, I'm pretty much done with what I wanted. But I kept on sludging through it. It was like just another 100 years, which I mean, even on my setup, it doesn't go as fast. But I I soldiered on through it, you could say. And my big two pet peeves was not getting the Andamans and the Aceite, or the central Indian islands, and these. I did have a claim through forming India, but I just never could get through it. They were allied with each other. They had too big of navies. Maybe I could have sludged through it, Um, just took the Andamans and white pieced, white pieced. peace out Portugal and then did the same with Spain. I did have a bunch of ramparts in my country, but I was just too bored. I had other stuff going on, but yeah, those were two thorns in my eye, you could say. But yeah, here the border is also finished, and you'll see soon. I'll go actually to a war with the Ottomans. They did have a few preemptive wars against me because I did convert a religion quite a lot. So maybe it was that, but I did manage to white peace them and get certain stuff, um, certain advantages. The reason why I could do this was not because I'm a very good at war, but rather because the Commonwealth in Germany also went to war with them, and that helped me quite a lot. They did have still quite a lot of troops left over, but I just kept employing. I mean, come on, mercs upon mercs, which like could not die, and mind you, at this point, like I built literally everything in my country that I could. So I had like 400 ducats or gold income monthly, which I don't know if you know, that's fucking huge. I could have gotten probably more, but just inefficient trading, maybe, definitely that a bit. But I mean, yeah, just building everything, building churches, workshops, stock exchanges, universities to get my governing capacity like up and up. That was giving me actually a lot of trouble also while on this run. I feel like that should be a bit corrected maybe. If people want to form it, they should get like maybe missions. But yeah, um, at this point I did go for a few achievements. The one that I did get a few from what do you call them? I did get a few um, from just playing the game, but then the last one that I did get was when I did go to war with the Ottomans. Um, we bled for this, having mill casualties on each side while winning a war. Um, that was a second war with the Ottomans that I did preemptively end. I did annex Autihaya because I took them away from Khmer. And yeah, this is another war against Hormuz, which I had. So I had like 3 wars against Hormuz. And then the last war, which I also had, was against the Ottomans. Again, for that achievement, taking a few more provinces and just some money. That was it. I did have a few provinces over here. Yeah. Fighting Kedah and Khmer and Malacca. It was seriously like very big pain. Um, but yeah, overall, I'm happy with what I accomplished. I could have done so much more had I focused on effectively fighting Khmer, and over there I could have expanded into this area, definitely. And yeah, I just didn't go for like any allies basically in Europe. I don't think they would have even accepted me. But this was it, yeah. Feel free to ask any questions, I'll get to answering them as soon as possible. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this sort of content. If you do, leave a like, and I'll come back with something else, But it'll take some time. This was my like 10th run, so yeah. Until next time, guys. See ya. Bye bye.